Oh well, I happen to live very close to the US-Canada border. That means one thing. Nobody knows the US-Canada border. By the way, an amazing border, a beautiful border, better than I do. I'm kidding. I'm only familiar with one small section that I use all the time. Why don't you follow me and let's find out together how, and I quote, ridiculous this open border really is.
The street behind me that's located in Canada. My home province of British Columbia is right behind me. And this perspective is really unique, and as you can see, there is absolutely nothing on the actual border. As we're speaking right here, right now, I can see lots of friendly Canadians in the background.
The place where I was were actually two parks where people from both Canada and the United States can access without a passport. Peace Arch Historical State Park in Washington, USA, and Peace Arch Provincial Park in British Columbia, Canada. If you wish to cross into each country legally, you have to go through the designated border control, which is not far away. It is mandatory. While both parks appear to be great places to relax and have an international picnic, did I notice anything crazy or ridiculous on this part of the US-Canada border? Like an out-of-control humanitarian crisis, as suggested by President Trump? Not at all, I would say. As a visitor to this park, if you want to symbolically cross the border, you'll find the Peace Arch, a monument built in 1921 commemorating the peace and friendship between the two nations. Once crossing through the arch from Canada, we're in Washington State, the United States of America. Well, since we're already here, might as well do a series, right? Sure, why not? Let's do this. After crossing the border, legally through the Peace Arch entry point, I made it to Blaine, Washington, a small border town that today felt more like a service station for the border traffic. Nothing special. If you don't have the visa for Canada, but still want to see what Canadian cities are like, you'll be able to see White Rock, a suburb of Vancouver right across the Semiahmoo Bay. Wait, what is this sound? Could President Trump actually be right?
Has this been a real emergency? You should have moved to higher ground or inland before tuning to your local media sources for further instructions. This was only a test.
A continuación, se hará una prueba del sistema de la sirena de alerta. Este ejercicio solo es una prueba del sistema de la sirena de alerta. Si se tratara de una emergencia real, debería moverse...
Okay, it appears that it was some sort of a testing message. Maybe for tsunami evacuation or something like that. Whatever. Probably it was a sign that we better leave Blaine fast. Driving 30 miles southbound on Interstate 5, you'll reach Bellingham, Washington, the northernmost city in continental United States with a population of more than 100,000.
Yeah, folks, I just got into Bellingham, Washington. Despite it's a very short distance from Vancouver and the Canadian border, Bellingham is actually my favorite city in Washington State. I'm gonna show you exactly why I like this place so much. Now we're in downtown Bellingham, but since it's around lunchtime, I'm gonna have lunch here.
For lunch, I went back to one of my favorite burger places anywhere in the world, Fiamma Burger. After lunch, let's explore Bellingham. The name was given by Captain George Vancouver. Yes, that Vancouver whom the city of Vancouver was named after. When their ship first entered the area, where had been inhabited by the indigenous Coast Salish people for thousands of years. They named the area after some random Bellingham dude in Britain who helped Vancouver in organizing this trip. The downtown area actually went through quite a bit of changes in recent years, as I used to always remember downtown Bellingham as a very depressing place. Today, the downtown area is great for taking a walk, and some of the formerly abandoned industrial sites have been transformed into entertainment districts and independent breweries.
Cheers.
In my opinion, downtown Bellingham has two landmarks that are worth checking out. The first one is the historic, well, by Washington state standard, Mount Baker Theater. You can catch a show there if you do plan to spend an evening in Bellingham. That is, if there's also a show on the same evening. And this theater is also the subject of an urban legend that it is haunted by ghosts. The second landmark is Bellingham's old City Hall, now the Whatcom County Museum. This is one of the oldest buildings in Bellingham today, as it was originally built in 1892. Something I had been unaware for a long time was that other than downtown Bellingham, there is another part of the city that is historic. Again, by Washington state standard. In between downtown Bellingham and this historic area, you'll find Boulevard Park, where you can take a break and enjoy some great views of Bellingham Bay.
Yeah, Bellingham is full of relaxing places like this, and if you have time when you're in this area, I highly recommend maybe slow your pace down and fully enjoy what this corner of the United States has to offer.
You'll find some footages in this series a bit hazy. That is because in recent years, this part of the world, including Washington and my home province of British Columbia, had been prone to out-of-control wildfire incidents. Another example of what climate change is capable of. I think it's worthwhile to capture these to show you the reality of just how vulnerable the nature and us really are in the age of climate change. Not just some nice, perfect footages aimed at enticing you to post for Instagram. Continue south, you'll reach the now neighborhood of Fairhaven, a designated United States historic district. Fairhaven was founded in 1883 as an independent town ready to become a major railroad hub for the planned Great Northern Railroad. However, when the Western Pacific terminus was eventually decided to be the modern-day Seattle, the town started to decline, and in 1903, its residents voted to become a part of the city of Bellingham. Today, Fairhaven is a trendy upscale neighborhood that, in my opinion, a must-see if you come to Bellingham.
Fairhaven also happens to be where you can take the ferry to Alaska. But yeah, I mean, I've promised everyone that at one point I'll probably have to do an Alaska series, so maybe I should restart it here. So stay tuned, Sayu Rinpoche in Alaska.
Bellingham is surrounded by abundant water resources, such as Lake Whatcom. The next place we're going to is a waterfall that serves as the gateway for Lake Whatcom to drain into Bellingham Bay and the Pacific Ocean. Whatcom Falls. Despite looking beautiful and peaceful today, in 1999, Whatcom Falls was the site of a horrendous pipeline explosion, resulting in 3 people losing their lives. The aftermath of the explosion can still be seen inside the park today. Again, another reminder of how fragile the environment is in front of human activities and how human negligence can lead to irreversible consequences to the nature and to others. Bellingham is renowned for being an outdoor enthusiast's paradise due to the city's easy access to the mountains surrounding the city. On a nice day, you often see a giant snowy peak lurking in the background of the horizon. This is Mount Baker, and it is also the same mountain that can be seen from Vancouver in Canada. You might have recognized it if you have watched our British Columbia series. Follow me to the next episode, and we'll be taking a closer look at the so-called Mount Fuji of Vancouver. Stay tuned.